You are squatting behind a rock 20,000 years ago. No walls, no door, no paper. A predator could be 30 feet away and you wouldn't know it. And when you're done, you still have a problem. Right now, that needs solving immediately. This is not a hypothetical. This was the daily reality for every single human being who ever lived before the 1850s. Every emperor, every warrior, every mother, every child, all of them faced this exact moment with nothing we would recognize as a solution. We spend billions of dollars every year on the softest multiply paper imaginable. We never stop to ask, what did people actually use before any of this existed? Because the answer isn't just surprising. Some of it is genuinely painful. Some of it was shared between hundreds of strangers. And one method, used by the most powerful civilization in human history, should by every law of biology have killed them all.
To understand the ancient bathroom experience, you have to forget everything you know about privacy. Just like how ancient humans didn't sleep alone, they didn't really go alone either. In a world where predators were always watching, stepping too far away from the tribe was a death sentence. You stayed close, you stayed visible, and you still had to deal with the aftermath. But the biological reality remained. You had to stay clean to avoid infection and parasites, a major theme in how our ancestors survived without modern medicine. Your first instinct was likely the same as ours today. Look for something soft. In the lush forests of Europe or North America, that meant moss. Moss is nature's sponge, absorbent, soft, and plentiful. If you lived in a tropical climate, you used broad, smooth leaves. But this came with a high-stakes gamble. Use the wrong leaf, like poison ivy or stinging nettle, and your day just went from bad to life-threatening. One wrong grab, and you've got a problem that no amount of running water is going to fix.
But what if you lived in the desert or a rocky tundra? This is where things get weird. Archaeological evidence suggests that for thousands of years, humans used smooth river stones. Known as pessoi in ancient Greece, these were small, rounded pebbles kept in jars and carried as everyday tools. It wasn't about comfort, it was about efficiency. You picked your stone carefully, you kept it smooth, and you used it. That was the system. In coastal regions, you reached for mussel shells. You'd use the dull edge of the shell to scrape yourself clean. It sounds brutal to us, but consider this. A prehistoric human skin was toughened by a life of constant movement, harsh weather, and 0 spa days. This wasn't a luxury problem, it was just maintenance. The same way you'd sharpen a knife or mend a sandal. You did what the environment gave you, and you moved on.
As civilizations grew and we started living in closer quarters, the methods became more organized and, arguably, more disgusting. If you were a citizen of ancient Rome, you didn't use a stone. You used a tersorium. Picture a sea sponge tied to the end of a long wooden stick. You'd find these in public latrines, sitting in a bucket of salt water or vinegar. The idea was that the salt water or vinegar acted as a disinfectant, keeping the sponge clean between uses. Here's the catch. It wasn't your sponge. It was the communal sponge. Every person who sat down before you used the same one, rinsed it in the same bucket, and left it for the next person. Dozens of people, every single day. It's a miracle the most terrifying diseases in history didn't wipe us out sooner. And yet, somehow, Rome functioned. Somehow the empire expanded. Somehow people went about their days without thinking twice about the communal sponge on a stick waiting for them at the latrine.
Eventually, as we began to domesticate animals and farm, we used whatever was left over. Corn cobs in the Americas, wool scraps in parts of Europe, old rags, handfuls of hay. Cultures across the world developed their own regional solutions, all shaped by what was abundant and what was cheap. It wasn't until the 1850s that anything resembling medicated paper was even sold commercially. When we look back at how ancient humans handled their most basic hygiene, we often feel a wave of disgust. But that disgust is a luxury. Our ancestors were masters of using their environment to solve the most basic human problems, creatively, practically, and without complaint. The next time you reach for a roll of toilet paper, remember, you're holding a piece of